Hey, how you doing? So it's Sunday. God, I don't know what day it is anymore. like, um, today I got up and decided I was going to work because I needed to catch up on a few things and during the week it feels like it's busy and yet well, I guess it is busy, right? Because I work in mental health, so it's still busy. We uh, we had some great news this week, and Manitoba Schizophrenia Society got the announcement. We've known for a little while, but the announcement came out that they have got a contract putting peers into a crisis response centre in Winnipeg, and a rural emergency room, and supporting people into the inpatient. Hopefully not many. Hopefully will be amazing and support people not to do that, but to support people out in the rural community in Dolphin. And super excited. So I've been doing a fair bit of work around that. So yeah, like what are we going to talk about today? So here's the thing. See a couple of mates on. Chaz, Robyn, Karen, seeing you guys join on. I'm not sure whether I see everyone that joins on or not. I see, some of the texts and try and keep up. But, I was thinking about what do I chat about today? I feel like I just come on and I go blah, 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 blah. And you guys, listen. God knows why, but, maybe it's my cute accent. Hi. So anyway, I was thinking, what was some of the big things that happened this week? Well, what I realised is talking with some of the peer supporters in the peer supporters calls, there was this weirdness of people being a little angry this week. Hey, Susanna. And it was even people that were really calm. So I talked a little bit about this on, I think it was a call the other day with people that, when this first started, everyone's like, yeah, we got this, we can do it. And, people were talking, well, it's, a couple of weeks, we got this, maybe a month. And as time has gone on, it's longer. So it's not that it's going to be this quick fix. It's not going to be that it's going to be a month. It's, they're talking months, and they're talking some things won't change for a long time. So I think there's that whole discussion about where you are in the world at the moment as to what the physical distancing looks like. It's still the same distance away from people, but it's the ability of whether, you can go out and do stuff or you can't. So I think last week I was talking about my mates in New Zealand. They've been on level 4 lockdown for a month. And what that means is they're all at home. They can go to the grocery store and that is it. None of the takeaways, none of the restaurants are open. You can't, if you're going to take your dog out, you have to walk from your house. You can't drive somewhere. You can't drive somewhere to go for a walk. So they've had that kind of restriction, and they find out Monday, which is tonight our time, Monday their time, what the next step is. Are they going to relax some of those? Are they going to keep them in place? So in Manitoba here, we've been still asked to social distance, but I've still, I have taken my dog to the dog park and done stuff like that. And I think the level of uncertainty this week has maybe created some of the swirl around people's anger, not anger per se, but just frustration has been coming out with different people. We had one of the kindest peer workers in the world that I've ever met. And her co-workers have never heard her swear, lost it at one of her family members this week, and then realised what was happening. Hi, Diane. So it's that place where I think there's a little bit of regrouping this week. So midweek, lots of people that I know in and out of peer support were unhappy, cranky, a little frustrated. And, messages were like not as concise and clear as they could be. And so, but I did notice a bit of a shift at the end of the week, right? So people did a little bit of that stomp. I feel like a little kid that wants to stomp their feet. Why is this? And then it was that little regrouped, okay, this is how it is. We've got this. Hey, Kylie. So yeah, it was an interesting week from that perspective. And I don't know, like, whether you guys, believe in kind of different spiritual stuff or not, but a friend of mine in Australia is a medium, and, like, she can tell people stuff that who the hell would know how she knows that? But she sent me this message yesterday Spirit saying that there's another big whack of changes coming this weekend and over the next week, where there's going to be more internal and external turmoil. So it's a place of, for me, one of the things I've done to create a bit of sanity in my life, because I do feel like it wouldn't take much to like a loser, really. I'm here with Rue, and we're just here, right? And so it's that place about how do I like keep that sanity. And so it is things like those fit and fun mental health. I see Diane asked me to dance with the lamp. It's not a lamp, it's Wilsonette. And, I could set that up. I don't have that happening today at 4:00. I have some very special guests to interview today. But my promise to you is that I will dance with Wilsonette again this week. Oh, hello. Rue's come to say hello. Hi, Rue. Say hi to everyone. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but when I'm in here chatting with you guys, she likes to come and say hello. So she'll probably go and lay in her bed now. Sometimes I wish I was a bit like my dog, that I could just sleep 20 hours a day. I swear, she does. So, what do we do? I would love to hear from you guys about, hi Pamela, about what you guys have been doing this week to take care of you. So, I was talking to, some of the peer workers this week, and talking about some of the funny things that have been happening with them. So there was one peer worker, and I just could not stop laughing. She said that she is taking her dog outside in the morning, where she just wears a t-shirt and her underwear. And the other morning she was outside, and she looked up, and there, she was bending over picking up dog poo, and she looked up, and there was her neighbour, and her neighbour's like, hello? And she was just like, I don't give a shit, right? I am just here doing my thing. Hey, far north Queensland, woohoo! And so I laughed, because I think one of the things that we're going to receive as a gift out of this is the ability to find what's important to us and get over all those like weirdy things. I've got to look like this. I've got to be this way. I've got to present this way. What, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff running around in our head. Now, let's be real. I'm not talking about hearing voices like some people hear voices, right? But the reality is there's a little voice running around in all our head. We look around and we go, look at what that person's wearing. I don't like that. Or why aren't they doing this? Or wonder what they're thinking of me. Well, maybe this is our time to not worry about that stuff anymore and actually become super grounded, like in who we are, what we want, and be really confident with ourselves. Hey, I don't know if you can hear that, but my dog's doing the good licking her leg. Hang on a sec. Roo. Making a lot of noise. She's looking at my picture again. Like, she's over there by my picture. Hi, baby. Hi. She just wants to be close. It's the place where, what do we do with ourselves in this environment? I just saw Diane put, it's how raw it is in the States at the moment. And I'm just not 100% sure what you're referring to because it only just popped up for me. It could be the rawness of like the whole thing. I've seen the thing in the States where there's a whole stack of people protesting that how can the government tell them about physical distancing? And then we've got other people saying, you know, please, physical distancing. And it's interesting. I'm not playing politics here, but I think the US is a place where people are like more about, you know, the constitutional right of I can do what I want. And sometimes I think we have to take it for the team. We have to suck it up and take it for the team. And that can be hard, right? And yeah, people, I'm just looking at those. I think people are down everywhere. And I think part of why I do this, even though I don't know what to say at times, is because I think many of us are feeling similar feelings. Like, here's the reality. We're not in the same position, right? Because some of us, I'm very privileged. You know, I'm still working. There are others, so I can afford food and afford my apartment and do those things. And then there's a stack of people who aren't working, who don't have money, who aren't sure where that food's going to come from. We've got people who are in isolation by themselves. Well, I've got Roo, but, you know, it's still, I'm chatting with you guys and I can't see any of you, so you know what it's doing to my psyche. And then there's people who are home with others, you know, with family or lovers or friends or whatever, doing well because they connect really well. And then there's others who, like, are in domestic violence situations and they, like, that's going to intensify in this environment. So it is that place about, like, how do we connect with the people that we know and keep those connections going? I got to say, I have this lovely friend, Doug, in my life at the moment, who knows I've been struggling a little, and like every day he keeps asking me about coming out and taking Roo for a walk. And like I've been like, oh, I'm a little antisocial, I'm just going to walk by myself, or I'm going to do this. But every day he just asks again. And I think that's the place, right, that we can like write ourselves little notes. As I said last week, I've got this little note, and you know, I'll just show you, hopefully it will come up. This too shall pass. You know, I have that sitting up there. I have that all over the house. I think I told you about it last week. And a few other notices. And it's the place that I watch the differences in people. I know that there is, relationships are struggling in many places, yeah. And like some people, their relationship is becoming super strong, like super connected. I have like some friends who, like, their relationship is becoming rock solid, and there are other people whose relationships are struggling. And it's that place about, if we're in small environments, how do we like find space in a small environment? And I think that's one of the things, you know, I encourage people to do, is look at how do you create some space in a small environment. Hey, I see Heather, I see Jana on here. Hi guys. And yet, like, we're in this tiny place, so it's this tightrope of how we get through all of those pieces, the pieces about being in those little environments, and how do we take some time. I have friends that just take themselves off to a bedroom or a bathroom and go and have a bath and say to their partner, like, I just need space. And they might sit in there for an hour or two. Wrinkly old prunes if they're in the bath, but hey, what the hell? Gives you some space, right? Or people are creating like different connections. So, like, I can only talk for me, right? Because I am here by myself with Roo. And what I got in the habit of was just watching TV to like numb stuff. And this week I realized I can't keep doing that, right? Like, it's super important for me to do that sometimes, but also for me to do different things. So yesterday was the blob and watch Netflix and romantic comedies and just chill and wish the world away. Obviously, I still took Roo for a walk. And then there's days where today was up, clean the house, like cook. Well, actually, I cooked yesterday too. Like do some work and talk to you guys. And after this, I'm going to take Roo walking, and I may actually even call my friend. It is that place, and I'm just seeing Pamela talking about like too much time for ourselves, like by ourselves. And I think that's where we have to work out, how do we connect with other people? So I have some cool friends that I can reach out to, and sometimes I get nervous about reaching out to my friends because I'm like, oh, they've got their life, they've got their partners, they're dealing with stuff too, and yet I'm still gonna reach out. Hey, I have some cool buds that I can just see joined. Judy Weston from New Zealand. Oh my God, hello. I've known that person for like, I don't know, 20 years. 20 years, mate. I don't know if I should tell you about Judy, but when I first met her, it was at the rugby field, and she had gumboots on, rubber boots, and a skirt. I couldn't laugh so much, and she has just continued to be my buddy and have me laughing. I see my mate from Alaska, Jill joined, and she sends me cute little videos and makes me smile, so thank you. Elsa, I see that you haven't caught up with the blogs lately. Charlotte has put them all on YouTube on a Robyn Priest Live Your Truth channel. They are all there, so you can go back over and over and over again and watch them. I did one the other day where I was waiting for the RCMP to call me. I know they have shortages in some places, and I tried out for the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. I haven't heard from them yet, so they can't be too short, right? But again, thinking about that reaching out, it is a place, and I see a couple of other people coming on, Amy, Shane. it is a place where if we're by ourselves, we're going to have to risk it. We're going to have to risk that reaching out and my friends being available. And I think someone taught me a super cool lesson this week about, like, sometimes you have to risk things in life, because if you don't, you'll completely miss out. And sometimes when we risk it, we won't get what we want, right? So you risk, you call your friends, you try and connect. They may not be available, they may be busy at the time or whatever. But you know what? The only failure in life is when we don't try something, because we never took a shot at it. And really, if we think about it, like, there's so many things that aren't exactly what we want in our life that don't turn up. So I want us to reframe the word failure. And you can do what you want, right? You can do what you want. But it is the place where I think failure is just we didn't get what we wanted in that moment, right? It doesn't mean anything is never going to work out for us again. It doesn't mean that, like, the whole world is, like, gone. It just means right at that moment we wanted something, and we didn't get it. And I just, I see a couple of comments. I see Jill saying, the braver I am, the luckier I get. It is the challenge, right? Is to not know. Like, it's to not know what the answer is. It's to not know what the other side is. And I see all your funny comments about my horse being too skinny or not the right type. Well, I had the horse I had, right? And I see people also talking about how much their life has changed. And it's the place where I want you to look deep inside and, like, I got this. It might not be what I thought it was. It might be something different. I see, Diane, you're talking about starting a business, and we're going to get to have a chat tomorrow, hopefully, about that. But it is the fear of the unknown. And, I see the kind of conversation about the fear of the unknown with, like, certain diagnosis running kind of things in our life. And my response is, we only have to take it one tiny step at a time. Like, one little reach out at a time can make the hugest difference. One little step. I think I've got permission to, I see Alpha saying BPD, is that a real thing? And I think one of the things sometimes we get in this place where, and I'm not saying this is you or any of you, right? But sometimes we get in a place of thinking we are what someone else diagnoses us as. And I think we are what we are, and we get to work out what has us get through difficult times, whatever that is. And, I think I always talk about questioning, are we the diagnosis that someone gave us? God, I'm putting this on video. We'll see if I get in lots of trouble. But I think so many people are given a label because for some people, a label can be a lifesaver, and for others, it can be like the ball and chain that we never get rid of. And I think the important thing for me is what's happening in our life and what's the impact on us versus what did someone say it was called. That's just me, right? And I know for other people, a diagnosis makes a big difference. So I think it's about living your truth. Now, with that, I was saying that, I think we all struggle from thoughts in our head that dominate what we're doing at any particular time, and it's what do we do about those? Is it and so I think putting some notes down for us about what we do when certain things turn up. So no, Pamela, I want to be clear. I'm not saying, I want to be very clear, I'm not saying BPD isn't real, right? I'm saying that you have what occurs in your life, and I'm saying different people with similar diagnosis may have different things occurring. So I have a friend that says she has BPD and talks about it all the time, and she talks about dialectic behaviour therapy was the best thing since sliced bread for her. I have other friends who have worked with just peer support about working out and talking to others who have it about how they got through it. So I think it's, for me, it's finding ways that get you through it. It's not that a diagnosis is real or not. It's about what's the impact on your life of what's happening for you and what's a way through it. And I know there's a bunch of people with the diagnosis BPD who are talking with each other and working out how to get through it together. So feel free to reach out to me, send me a message on Facebook, and I'll connect you if you want with some other people who are kind of have that diagnosis and are working their way through it. That's what peer support is all about. It's the finding your way through it. And the reason I said that, and is because, I got a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. The other diagnosis I got was BPD. I don't say that very loudly. I don't think I've said that publicly. That was a very long time ago. I never talk about that diagnosis, and I don't talk about, I say, someone gave me a diagnosis of bipolar, because the way it looks in me and the way it looks in other people with bipolar disorder can be really different. And so for me, it was working out what did I need to do to stay well? What were the things that worked for me? What were my triggers? What were the things that I wanted to do each day? So I know for me, I have a bit of a routine in the morning. Get up, take the dog outside, come back, feed the dog, have a shower, get ready and go. I just see Chaz on here talked about BPD controlled, her for almost 20 years, and she's taken her life back, and I know she's doing amazing things. I don't know, Chaz, if you might be willing to talk to Pamela and just chat about that. And so I think when I think about all of this, whether we have a diagnosis or not, I think it's the place about taking a look at what's going to get us through this. And I keep talking about social connectedness, because if you look at some of the kind of addiction stuff they're talking about, it's, and I don't mean to start a shitstorm here either, that it's not the addiction per se, it's the isolation, it's the social disconnectedness. And when we connect differently, we have better outcomes. And that's all of the research talks about that across life, that isolation is one of those big things. So I think when we're having to physical distance, it's super important that we take a step. It is, I love that, living a life we determine. We talk about it in Robyn Priest, Live Your Truth, as a life of your dreams, the one that you want to go after. And it might not be the same as what someone else wants. I just need to take a drink. This is my protein shake, chocolate protein shake. Just give me a sec. It's about finding ways to get through the harder times. So this is a little bit of a flip of a harder time, but I swear I have a sugar addiction. And a couple of months ago, we were asked to go to the Winnipeg Jets game. Yes, ice hockey, woo! And have a stand. And Charlotte bought all these lovely candies. And look what's left in my office. Yep. Candy. And every day I walk in here and look at them and go, do I want to have that or don't I? And I'm like, no. Do I want to have a chocolate bar because there's a vending machine downstairs? Well, no. And some days the pull is much stronger than others. But, I've been sugar-ish free. And I say that because I think there's probably some sugar in some natural stuff I'm having, fruits and that. But I'm not having, oh my God, yes, my friend called them lollies. Yes, candy, lollies. I'm not having that because I'm making a conscious choice not to at the moment. And Pamela, I see that you said you took a risk reaching out. And I want to say thank you for taking that risk. And, I we will look and find some people that can chat with you about how they deal with their stuff. So thank you for taking the risk. Because without risk, we don't get reward. Thinking about it recently, right? If we hold ourselves back from going after the things that we want, we will never know if we could have had them. And we might not get them. And, that's okay, right? We then get to manage that. But if we never go after it, we never know, right? Anything in life, running a business. 4 years ago, I swear, I wouldn't have thought I'd be living in Canada running a successful mental health business with Charlotte Sitnick. I wouldn't have. I had a great job, but I was living in the US. I was doing my thing, and now I'm in control of my own destiny. And I'm not saying everyone, go off and be in control of your own destiny, but it is important to take that step. It's like I use an image in one of my presentations where someone steps off the edge of a cliff. Because sometimes we have to take that leap to see what's on the other side or to see what's at the bottom. It doesn't mean we're going to crash and burn. Hey, Rob, thanks for that. One door closes, another always opens. So I get that it feels like at the moment there's a whole lot of doors closed, right? Because we're all like isolating in our own house. We're all in our own head. Even if we're with someone else, I would think that we're in our own heads at times. And it's just like, what would I say to my friend that was dealing with some of those negative thoughts? Charlotte's forever telling me, stop being mean to my friend. She's talking about me stopping being mean to myself. And there are days I remember it and days that I don't. Charlotte's responding for me. Asking about dual citizenship, I do not. So I'm Australian and I got to live and work in New Zealand because Australians can do that. I had a work permit for a long time in the US, and then I had a work permit. I have a work visa for Canada. So right now I'm here till September 2021, but I've been deemed an asset to the country. What? It says that on my work permit. Yeah. So my plan is to actually go after residency here when I finish with that. So, I'd be super excited by that. That stop being mean to your friend. And I have started to say it to myself. Thanks, Brooke, for saying that again. I have started to say it to myself. If I'm being a butthead to myself, I hear Charlotte going, stop being mean to my friend. And I'll go, stop being mean to my friend. What would I say to a friend in that situation? Can you hear my dog snoring? She's so loud. Like that piece about, would I be so hard on my friend as I am on me? No, I wouldn't. Never. Would I be as judgmental? Would I be as unempathetic, uncompassionate? No. I would be totally empathetic, compassionate, non-judgmental, loving to a friend, and I want to say, let's do it for ourselves. So, this week I've been journaling, and I used to think that was a load of bollocks. I was like, that's for pussies. I'd tell people that in peer training, but I would never do it for myself. I'd be like, eh. And this morning I read back over the week of journaling, and I went, wow, these times I'm super insightful. And how cool is that? And I saw the compassion and empathy for myself in that journey. Did you hear that snore? That's funny. She's snoring so loud. And I just thought, that's pretty cool. I wanna try having that as often as I can. I see, Diane, you say you could listen to me all day. Is it my cute accent or something intelligent I'm saying? This is what I want to know. As we go through this, we're going to have times where it doesn't feel okay, where we're not okay, where I would say we're going to have times where we feel like we're losing it, like mentally. And I think the place is, I encourage people to get that that's okay, right? It's okay to feel that way. What's super important is for me not to wallow in it, because I can get lost in it and I can lose every sense of who I am. And so I've been particularly strong this week because, if you listen to any of my posts, I had a pretty tough Friday night, a week ago. And so this week has been about focusing on, what do I do to make every moment okay? And there are some moments where they're not okay, and I'll curl up on the couch and have a cry, and I'm okay with that. But it's for me about not staying in that place, about what do I need to do. I think it helps that I have a dog, so sometimes she'll come over and go, excuse me, I need to go out, and then I'm kind of pulled out of that. But another thing I've been doing this week, which I've never done before, so I have my Fitbit, and every hour, my Fitbit tells me how many steps I've got to be taken. Hey, see you, buddy. Have a good day at work. My mate's going off to work in North Queensland. It's one of those things. So my Fitbit tells me whether I've done enough steps. So the other day, when it started telling me I hadn't done enough steps, I started walking around my bench in my kitchen and doing a figure eight with my bench and my couch. And I swear my neighbours must think I'm a complete weirdo, and I don't give a shit. I don't care what they think. I'm going to take those steps and do that. Hey, Pamela, I see you talking about missing your cat. I don't know how long ago your cat went missing. If having an animal is important, maybe you can look at that again. I don't know your situation, but I know that Rue's like keeping me sane in this. I know that when things get really bad and I want to do something stupid, like Rue's the reason I don't. Or I'll take Rue in the car with me, because I'd never do anything dumb in the car if I have Rue. So I do things like that. And, it is taking a look at what we do for ourselves, what we want for ourselves. Oh, okay, not missing. Got it. It's the thing where, and I saw Diane say something about selling herself short. It's the place about stop being mean to your friend. You wouldn't ever sell your friend short. You would go after, you would be their biggest supporter. You would be like alongside them for the journey. And so my request is that you treat yourself how you treat your best friend. That you actually become your best friend. Because you might not be seeing your best friend much at the moment. You just might be seeing yourself. And so that's all you have control over, right? Each and every moment with you. And here's the thing. I was having a conversation with my brother the other day. He was like, well, I'm going to start forecasting the future. I don't think any of us know what the future looks like. We don't know what it's going to look like as we journey through this. And we're together in this storm. Someone put it, and I don't know who it was an anonymous thing, but someone said, we're all in the storm together, we're just in different boats. And we are. And so my request is that you become your best friend through this storm. And you work out what it is that you need to get through it each moment. And yeah, we can take a look at the future. And I request that we don't get hung up on the past, because I'm very clear that I was so caught up in past stuff that I missed something amazing for my future. It may come around, it may not, But the valuable lesson for me is I have this moment to create what it looks like now. And so if I can be my best friend through this, I have a shot at keeping my sanity. And I see a couple of other people join, Judy, Renee. Hey, nice to see you. It might not make sense what I say in the middle of this. I'm just checking on the time because I also have to be on Fit and Fun at 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time. So I'll probably finish here in 5 or 10 minutes. Know that I'm going to be interviewing a great panel for Fit and Fun today. So, I have some fun when I do stuff like that. But I can see some people tossing some things around about I've spoken to them today. Like, I'm going to ask you guys, would you be willing to put a little note and tell me what you're going to focus on for yourself today? Not even tomorrow, but just today. Hey, Joan. What are you going to focus on in terms of being your best friend for today? Come on, guys, put something down. Write something to me. Because, I've been chatting for 45 minutes to you guys, but also to myself. So it is that place. And even if you don't put anything today, maybe you can put something in the chat during the week or on the YouTube channel, Robyn Priest, Live Your Truth. And just say, what are you going to do for your best friend? So I know for my best friend, I've made some Indian coconut chicken curry because my best friend loves that. And I made my best friend a chocolate protein shake. So that's a start. I know for my best friend, I'm going to relax tonight because, I've been working most of the day. I see Pamela taking the risk and reaching out. Awesome. Brooke, reminding myself that I'm as important as everyone else. We forget that, hey? We so forget that we are as important. And actually, my reframe would be we're more important. Because if we're not taking care of us, we're not actually used to anyone else. So we can't support other people if we're not supporting ourselves. And yes, I know, I can hear all the people who know me going, what? You never do that. So my commitment here on this is that I am starting to do that. I am starting to take care of me. I am starting to remember that if I don't take care of me, I have nothing for anyone else. And so this week has been a journey in starting to do things like that. Hi, Janelle. Chaz, getting my life back ready for an amazing week. Yeah, I was talking to Chaz before, we're mates, about, cleaning her apartment and getting things organised. She had a pretty tough week with some family health stuff, not hers, but family stuff last week. Well, maybe hers. But we don't realise how quickly some of that gets out of control. I know I had to kind of step in and do some housework today, and I was kind of like, well, why should I do any housework? Everyone's talking about clean your house this often. I'm here by myself. Who the hell cares? It's just me and Roo. It's that place about, I could clean it. Because I really do. I go outside to take the dog out. I don't touch anything. I use my elbow to hit the automatic door openers. I'm not touching anything. I come back, I wash my hands, and then I'm like, why do I have to keep my house cleaner than I normally keep it? But, maybe. Pamela, and I don't know whether you prefer Pamela or Pam, so I'm going to say Pamela, even if you've always been the helper, my request is that you turn that help on yourself for a second. That you actually take as much care of you as you would any of your other friends. And like Susanna, you're going to take your other best friend out for a walk. Susanna has a beautiful beagle. So the two best friends are going to go out for a walk. And yeah, I get it's been a tough week, my friend. Just here for you. Living in your PJs, my friend, is okay. I can't live in my PJs. Well, I could. Actually, I could wear my PJ bottoms, but I figure I should at least put some kind of shirt on. And, I got to tell you, after about 7 o'clock, the bra comes off. And that's not a good look for me, but I just go, screw that. During the day, I'm trying to hold a semblance of what my day would be like anyway. And I'm just checking the time. Truth be told, that normally I'm working from home or I'm traveling. And it was kind of the weirdest thing that in February my schedule made it that I was home until June or July anyway. So I'd been traveling 3 out of 4 weeks for months. And then all of a sudden, that wasn't how it was anymore. All of a sudden I was meant to be home. So I think the universe was getting me ready to be a part of this, to be in this environment, to take a look at me, to find out what's super important for me. And Charlotte, I'm sorry, but I'm not going back to traveling 3 out of 4 weeks. I want a life. I want a different life. And the cool thing, Charlotte and I have been telling people, Zoom training works. It's amazing. For 2 years, since we started our business, that was our plan. And everyone was like, nah, it's not the same. And now everyone's doing Zoom training and calling and saying, how do we do it? And we're like, yep, it's this. And I think the world will continue to be doing some of that. So it will look different moving forward. I am going to finish up because I have to go and get ready to interview my panel at 4 o'clock. I would love you guys to join back in to Fit and Fun Mental Health at 4. I'll go live right at 4 again. I want to thank you guys for sharing this because I do feel a connection. Like it's a privilege to be able to share with you all, like some of my ramblings. And I just thank you for being part of my life, because I don't know each and every one of you personally, but you make a difference in my world. So please go out there and be kind to my friends. That's you guys, being kind to yourselves. And love you all. Hopefully see you on a Fit and Fun at 4. But if not, see you next weekend. And stay safe, have a good week, and stay socially connected, my friends. Okay? See ya.